Obviously, playing in this building has been good to our program during my career here at K-State and K-State at South Carolina. I was just talking to K-Staters outside. We've got, it's fun, former guys that played at K-State that live here. And, you know, they were out there, we were visiting, and they've become huge fans of these two guys right next to me. It's, that's the fun part when you coach. But these guys here, Wayne Notice, real proud of who they are, what they do, their belief in us, and where our program has gotten to from where we were at 4 years ago. It's a whole lot of fun to be around.
Questions for the student athletes?
Sin, PJ, it seemed like you guys really busted the zone early by shooting over it, had the first early couple of threes. What did you do after that to kind of disrupt that defense and get into the paint?
I think one of our biggest things was, you know, getting the ball inside and getting the ball at the high post and, you know, attacking the rim. Don't get in jacking up threes, and that's what we focused on, and that's what we did a lot in the game. Got the ball to the bigs, and they did a great job of passing it out or high-low, or, you know, PJ did a great job of slicing the zone and getting a lot of those elbow shots, in-the-paint shots, and it worked for us.
PJ, how comfortable do you feel right now in your overall game? You were hitting a lot of those mid-level jump shots today.
Felt good. You know, that was a game plan. You know, the work coach said to work the zone. You know, try to get away from the one pass shot. You know, and get deep in the shot clock. You know, we knew they would play a pretty tough zone. You know, that's what they're known for. So you know, just trying to pick our spots and be able to get open shots.
Also,
where does a defensive performance rank out of all the defense that you had all year, especially considering that you were playing a neutral site game, but you know, felt like a home game for the other team.
Right. You know, every game we come out and guard. You know, that's what our coaching staff and our team prides ourselves on, defense, and you know, we make our offense out of our defense. So you know, just coming into the game, defensive minded.
with these last two wins, guys, I mean, you guys were obviously around last year. It's great for the resume and all that, but how do you kind of temper yourselves and say it's only the sixth game of the season?
You know, like I always say, and Coach always says, you know, we don't base our season off of those type of games, these type of games. We've taken one game at a time. You know, we treat everybody the same. You know, the same way we had a great week, we can mess around and have a bad week. You know, not hoping we don't, but you know, we just keep the older guys. You know, the guys that've been through it. You know, we try to keep everybody that haven't been through it level-headed and keep our working hats on and come into practice with the same mindset as we did this week and throughout the year.
If you have questions, please raise your hand for Mike. Any more student athlete questions? If not, we'll let them go. Okay, guys, you're good? Thanks. Questions for Coach?
Frank, same question, just how did you attack that zone defense? You got 30 points in the paint. Just what opened up for you in there, especially after those first two threes?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of revert again to the Freudian slip that I started the press conference with. I went back and studied the tape of the last game I ever coached at K-State, where we played Syracuse in the NCAA tournament, and I thought I made a grave error because I tried to play behind the zone, and I'd never seen that game on film. And when I watched it, what I kind of walked away from was they bait you to throw it in there. They want you to play behind it because they're so big that it creates major, you get swallowed up. And you can't throw those baseline diagonal passes because their guards are so big. So I was watching that on the plane Wednesday night after the Michigan game, and I slept on it, and I said, I got to change what I did, you know, whatever it was, 4.5 years ago. And I felt that, if you saw, we kind of brought all the bigs up to the elbows, and we needed to lift the zone. Rather than try to play behind it, we needed to lift it. And then once we lift the zone, then find the cracks behind it so we have space so we can pass and shoot. And credit our guys. I mean, I don't claim to be Einstein. I just tried to do my job, but our guys were phenomenal. They listened, they were in tune, and they executed. We we got a little careless there early in the second half, but we responded to their run, and we pretty much kept them out of open court baskets. And that's, you play Syracuse, they kill you with open court baskets.
Coach, speaking of attacking the zone, it's got to help to have a guy like Dozier, who seems like the perfect guy to have the ball in the middle, make a good decision, or hit the shot.
Yeah, him, Thornwell, Coach Sar, you know, we've got different guys, and that's something else that we spoke about. If you're not in the zone offensively, you're not trying to get in it or whatever, and you're one of the guards up top, you can't stay towards the half-court line, because their zone really gets out and guards you. As soon as you see that, you got to cut the zone. And once again, PJ made some great reads cutting the zone, and then great decisions inside of it. That's a good thing about those two guys. They got some size, and they're great decision makers with the ball. So we tried real hard to lift the zone, then get somebody behind it, and then get it to one of those guys in the middle of the zone. And I think for the most part, we did a pretty good job of it.
Frank, it seems Mike is just kind of growing by leaps and bounds, even though he's just a freshman. Just how confident are you in throwing the ball into him on, you know, say 6 out of every 10 plays and letting him do what he does?
Yeah, you know, Dave, I didn't just like throw all the freshmen into a hat and kind of shake it up and pull one out. So let's make him the starter. You know, it's once again going to Costa Rica, something that Ray Tanner allowed us to do. I got around Mike a lot, and I kind of got a feel for him as a player, what he can and can't do. I wouldn't have done that going into the season, or he wouldn't have understood our system going into the season. Him and Hassani, both of those guys, without that trip. But Mike continues to grow. You know, and we could talk about the layups and some of the decisions he made playing with the ball inside the zone. But I'm gonna tell you what he did. He didn't get too many of them. That dude battled on the glass today. He didn't stand and watch. Syracuse is hard to rebound against, and he battled. He threw his body around, never quit on balls, and it's all of them. Steve went in there. I think hopefully you saw some of the things he can do from an athleticism standpoint. We just need him. You know, he still has that wrist. He doesn't not comfortable shooting the ball, so it's hard to keep him on the floor too long. But we're fun, and Mike's been great.
Frank, can you talk about now 2 great defensive efforts for your team against 2 top 25 teams?
Yeah, I really felt, you know, you ask people, they'll tell you that I don't know anything about offense and all we do is play defense, and that's fine. It really doesn't bother me. I do pride myself defensively to play a certain way defensively, and it's taken us 4 years to recruit a team that has enough parts where we can be good at the things we're trying to do defensively. And you take guys like Dwayne and Sindarius, they've guarded everybody. And you name the player in the country, they've sat down and guarded them during their careers. So they understand our system. They're fearless in the moment. PJ's so much better defensively than he was a year ago. And now you add Chris Silva, who continues to grow. He frustrated me today on offense, not on defense. And then Mike, who can really move his feet, understands, gets to the right place. And now you talk some of the depth that we have, because that was the other thing that we used to struggle with, is to guard the way we do, you got to have some depth. You can't do it with 5 guys, because those guys will get tired. And we got some depth. So when we pick up a couple fouls here and there, we're okay. We got guys that can kind of hold the fort down. And, you know, we've been pretty good defensively. You know, Holy Cross, Monmouth, Louisiana Tech, those are good offensive basketball teams. And then obviously these 2 teams we played this week, I'm real proud of our guys, real proud.
You were mentioning the busting the zone, but how much does that get aided by the fact that you get all these steals, you get a lot of the turnovers that just start up, it starts offense before they even get back?
Yeah, we're not a big steals team. What we came up with some today. I thought they panicked a little bit early, and some of their guys dribbled the ball into bad areas of the floor where there were a lot of hands and just, created some open court situations. If you study the teams I've been around, I'm more into forcing you into rushed shots and utilizing those as turnovers. I don't know, call me, I don't like losing a hand of $5 on blackjack, so I don't like gambling. I want to be rock solid, I want our defense to be in place, and I want the offense to score through our defense, not try to gamble and go for steals, and now you're putting your guys in difficult spots. But we're still nowhere near as good as we can be. I mean, we're counting on a bunch of first-year guys to continue to help us grow. Raw Felder is going to be a phenomenal on-ball defender. I probably should have played him a little in the second half today. I didn't. I went to old reliable guys that I've been through it with and didn't put them in there early in the second half, and then I just didn't have the confidence myself, and me, not in him and me, to put him in the game once we got later in the game. But as he continues, so he's practiced 5 times. C.D. Keita's practiced 3 times. And KG continues to get better. As those guys continue to get better, it's going to create more depth for our team. It means we can be even more aggressive defensively.
Frank, you mentioned the young guys. You beat 2 top 25 teams in a week. You may be getting some votes next week. Do you worry about those guys going into the next game, or are you confident that your seniors will be able to say, you haven't done anything yet?
Yeah, the core guys have been through this with us before. They're not going to flinch. It doesn't mean we're going to win. It doesn't mean we'll play good. They're not going to flinch. They're not going to buy into it. We've been ranked before. We were ranked last year. I want to say the year we beat Iowa State in this building, we also kind of got some votes, or kind of maybe even snuck into 25 for like a day, and then got beat, and then we never heard of us again. But they're not going to flinch. The young guys, this is on you to them. Heck, I can't get them to execute coming out of a timeout sometimes because they're so wound up in their own world, and it's all part of it. So I've got to be patient with those guys, but at the same time demanding that they stay focused in on what matters, which is what we can control.
Any more questions?
By the way, I got to say this, because if not, somebody would reach out of her grave and punch me right in my face. After 50 years, my grandmother, her ashes finally smiled today with the person that made her life miserable finally disappearing. And no one wishes death on anybody, but I'm happy because my grandmother, her ashes are smiling today. Thank you.